Hello YouTube. I want to take a quick look at the next part of the interpreter, which is scoping. And basically we want to handle things like this, where you have different independent declarations of a variable. Things like this should give an error, because this variable a only lives inside this scope. Things like this should work without deleting this variable. You can use this variable inside a local scope, which is then not deleted. And you can do things like this, mixing local and global variables. And basically the way it's going to work is our environments, they currently look like this, just a hash map with the name of the variable and the value of the variable. But now they will also reference the parent variable, so the environment that would live in here would also reference the environment living out here. And then you will first try to look up a variable inside your own environment, and if that fails, you go to the parent environment. So we need something here which we'll call closing, and we have to make it a box pointer to an environment. And when we create our environment, we have to initialize it somehow, and for that we should be able to do something like this. And let's do some quick tests. See that actually works, and did not work. Okay, there's an unrelated error. This again, do like that. Okay, so I got those errors fixed. They just involved implementing this toString function, which works very simply. If it's an expression statement, it just gets the expression to string. If it's a print statement, we write print and then the expression to string. If it's a variable declaration, we write it like this. And then I updated some tests. But now let's try to get this to work. So we have an error. Use of unstable library feature new on init. So what I want to do is maybe make this an option. And then we say none. And that's worked. So now we have an enclosing environment, and we can make it. Okay, now I have to update this function where we get a variable, so we have to say let value equals this, and then we can do something like this. So if we find a value, that's fine, we just return that. If we don't find a value and we have an environment, then we will return what happens if you get the value in that environment, and if we get just none everywhere, we return none. Right, and here we actually have to return some. Okay, we have some errors. Let me run this. Okay. So is this the best way to do it? I don't know, but it works for now. So if a variable isn't found in this environment, we simply try the enclosing one. That in turn does the same thing recursively, so this will ultimately walk the entire chain. Great. And let's see. Assignment works the same way. Right, so we need to fix assignment. And how do we do that? I completely forgot where that is being handled. I think it's here in evaluate. Okay, so because of this extra environment chaining, I think I want to move this into the environment. And the new value we need to do this. And then we'll define the function over here just so we know what we're dealing with. We need a mutable reference. This can be a reference, sure. And then we need the value. And that will return maybe a literal value. Okay, so then we have to check the old value and basically where's this new value? It's the... Okay, so we also have to say new value equals value.evaluate. And maybe I will have to clone that. Do that. We will do this. So it's the same as before now, I think. Which is that first we evaluate the new value. We get the old value out. We try to assign this new value, which if this thing exists, it will just return the old value. We could return like a boolean instead. Maybe that's more clear. Let's change it over here. Oh, no. Down here. And then we'll say if assign success, it will be this one, else be that one. Right, so that should work. Except that we're moving a value. Okay, now we just need to implement this assign thing. And we will say and we'll do a match again. So if there was a value, then we will insert the new value, and we will return true. If there's no value but we have an enclosing environment, then we will simply assign to the environment instead. If there was no value, there's no enclosing environment, then we will return false. And that gives an error. Great. Let's check we didn't break anything. Okay, so assignment still works. What if we assign to something that doesn't exist? It just doesn't do anything. Maybe it would be nice if it returned the error. So it's probably in here. maybe it's in main even. So it's supposed to print the error message. So it does do that sometimes, just not here. It's because we didn't do this. So now if we say b equals 3, and that's a very nice error message. So let's try to fix that. Okay. So now we have some basic assignment, but actually what we needed to do was no, that was all. So I think we'll stop here because I don't have so much time right now. But now we have sort of the scaffolding for adding scope, which we still don't really support, but now if we had scope, we could handle scoping of variables. So I'll see you next time.